All right, so the next one's from Joe Troller. The subject is Dave Meltzer talking shit about Taker versus Mankind. First of all, I just finished listening to last week's show, and it was fucking awesome. Even Conan's garbage rap music at the end was decent. To my question a few days ago on Twitter, go find Joe, Dave Meltzer said that Mankind versus Undertaker Hell in a Cell match was, quote, a 2-star match because it only did 2 moves. For real, this man is the biggest dumb fuck going on in Evolve Wrestling. I'm not saying that match wasn't insanely dangerous, but saying shit like that just damaged Meltzer's credibility. Meltzer clearly thinks the more technical moves you will do will instantly make a good match. 90% of fans love that match. Also for Conan and Disco, what was the feeling backstage at WCW the day after the Hell in the Cell? Were you guys impressed or thought the Foley went too far? Hey Conan, I didn't mean what I said about the rap music. I hate that part. The WCW, all the old guys couldn't believe it. Like Hogan and all those guys, they thought it was like dumb. I thought it was crazy. You know, it was like for visual spectacle. But to say that like 2 moves, that's ridiculous.
Is that exactly?
There was a whole story of that match.
Yeah,
the man basically got thrown off the thing and came back off a stretcher, and the match involved a lot of selling.
Yeah,
because the guy's really hurt. You know, so to say it was just a 2-move match is ridiculous.
Even after the second bump through the top to the mat, they were doing some stuff. Yeah. They were doing the best that they could under the circumstances.
And they were selling a lot.
Yeah, Taker bumped into the cage a lot.
The fact that it didn't have a lot of moves made it a great match. Because if they had a lot of moves, it wouldn't be logical because they gave each other some ridiculous amount of punishment. You know?
And don't forget the tax, too. And then they worked around the tax for a little while. You know, is he going to take the bump? Is he not? Who's going to take the tax? So that was part of the story, too.
Wait a minute, but it says he didn't give it. It says that he gave it 2 stars, but I just looked up because I wanted to read what he said. It said, so I put Dave Meltzer reviews Hell in the Cell. And so some guy goes, so pretty much, so a match you hated got 4.5 stars. I don't know what match he's referring to. And then he goes, He did
give it 4.5 stars. I remember that. So maybe his opinion has changed over the years, but yeah, I did see that.
Using individual performances, both guys, it was a superior level match. I still hated it. Yeah. How could you hate it if you just said it has good storyline and execution and individual performances? So I went to a movie. The movie was good. The acting was good, but I hated the movie. I mean, I don't understand that.
And I know. He's weird sometimes with the way he rates this stuff.
It says, I hated Undertaker versus Foley, Hell in a Cell even more, then gave it the same grade. So he didn't give it 2 stars. I think he gave it 4.5, but he hated it? I don't understand.
They're comparing it to Moxley versus Omega. Remember how crazy that match was? So he said back then, because I remember we were discussing it, that he hated that match too. But he did give it 4.5 stars, and we were trying to figure out, well, what does that mean?
Bro, if you hate a match, don't give it all those stars. It's just the most illogical thing I've ever heard of.
Well, it means that he's saying that in his star rating system, like technically and whatever, the match was a good match.
He's like trying to say his star rating system is being given by a person detached from out of his body experience.
Yeah, but
it's like if you're rating stuff that is coming from your vision of what you thought the match was. If you like perfect example, Ebert gave Gladiator 2 stars, didn't like it. I think everybody else would pretty much agree that it was 4 stars. It won an Academy Award that year for Best Picture, right? But Roger Ebert didn't say, I gave it 4 stars, but I didn't like it. You know, it was only fair to me. It's like he gave it 2 stars. That's how the shit's supposed to work. You know, you rate the matches not because like you think the matches are certain things. The rating, a rating is your approval of what you thought you just saw. Oh,
but I'm looking at this, and he actually gives it 1, 2, 3, 4.5 stars.
Yeah,
he says he hated it.
But but he hated it because, despite the fact that it was a good and entertaining match in his eyes, he means he personally hated it because of the amount of violence and the jeopardy that those guys are putting themselves in. Is the way I take it.
Well, that's the type of match. What did he want them to do? Chain wrestling? This is a Hell in a Cell match. Listen to the name of it.
Yeah, but he said
it's not supposed to be a match. It's Hell in a Cell.
But what he's saying is he had the same feelings about Omega and Moxley as he had with Mankind and Undertaker because of the amount of violence.
We disagree there. Yeah.
Well, you can't even possibly compare the two because Moxley and Omega did basically a millennial version of a death match.
Yeah.
You know, because they brought out a board that had a bunch of mouse traps. You know, just screwed into it. I'm like,
you mean the one that's super?
Yeah, like we're doing art. You know, like, hey, here's like an art piece. You know what it reminds me of? It's like, did you see that thing where a person had like what was it? Some like it was a the story about the banana guy that had like the art was like the piece of banana like in wrapped in foil or something like that. That was like the art piece.
Oh, that the one in Miami well, this is great. The guy.
Yeah, the guy just went up and just
had
taped the banana.
They had taped the banana.
Somebody bought it for $120,000. You know?
Right. Somebody bought it for a whole bunch of money. And it was just a banana taped with electrical tape, on a canvas. All right, that's supposed to be art. Some guy came up and stole the banana. That's tremendous.
If I'm coming in, if I'm dressing for a street fighter or death match, okay, my character, I'm coming out in jeans and boots. I got my fists taped. I've got elbow pads on, and just
like you're ready for a street fight.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not spending my day, okay, taking a bunch of mouse traps and screwing them onto a piece of plywood. So I could use that. Like that's the whole the psychology starts before the match starts. The people do these stunts today just for the sake of doing the stunts. So they can say the visual picture of the stunt that was poured. But I don't know. I'm going off on an old man yells at clouds right now.
Well, I can't really comment because I didn't see that Omega Moxley match, but I did see the Undertaker one, and that was one of the greatest things I ever saw.